Hey, 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 ladies. Okay, so hopefully it works. Ooh, I didn't put my mic in. Let me see if I can do that and it won't mess up anything. If it does, I just won't use the mic today, which I'm perfectly fine with that. So let me see. Let me see if y'all can still hear me. I'm going to go and check it out on Facebook because if it doesn't work since I plugged it in later, we'll just take it out. No biggie there. I hope y'all are having a good Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. If y'all are in the sisterhood group and I came on and then came off, it's because I didn't stream correctly in the Braided Faith family and work group. And that was where I wanted to stream. So on and then came off. Okay, I think we're good. If for some reason y'all can't hear me throughout the live, let me know because a lot of times my mic doesn't work well on StreamYard for some reason. So sometimes it'll literally just go silent. So so I'll check it on and off, but I don't want to be too focused on my audio. So if somebody's watching or listening in, first of all, say hello. Let me know how you're doing this afternoon. And then second of all, if you'll let me know just in the comments, hey, we can't hear you anymore. That would be awesome. So, hey, Melody. So I hope that y'all are having an awesome Tuesday. Hey, Deanna. Deanna's been on one of my lives in one of my clients' Facebook group because I do training in her academy. And Deanna's been on one of my lives where I'm just talking and talking and talking away and they can't hear me. Oh, the weather's beautiful there. Deanna, it is cold here. Like I'm sitting in my office. My husband was about to go to work and I said, will you turn my heat blanket on in the living area because it's freezing in my office and I'm about to just go work in there when I'm done with this live because it's cold here. It is so cold. And I'm so cold in my office. So after this, I'm going to crawl under my heat blanket and work the rest of the afternoon in the living area. And it's 64 degrees outside. It was in the 50s earlier, but our house, I guess because we have like high ceilings, the downstairs area can at times be so cold, even when it's a little warm outside, but it's been cold outside most of the day. Thankfully, the temps did go up a little bit this afternoon. So anyway, okay, so you guys, I really wanted to hop on here and share some tips. So I'm going to be starting to come on live in the Braided Faith family and business and work community for Christian. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to this new group name here. I'm going to start coming on here on Tuesdays and give a little tip. Now, the tips can range from business tips to faith tips, how to grow stronger in your faith, or just being organized at home, or, being a better wife, or being a better mom, or being a better friend. I mean, they're just going to kind of range from those things because that's what this group is. This group is about us coming together as women of faith. And that's going to be the main thing here is that we're Christian women. And I want us to have a place where we can come together and we can just talk about balancing our traditional values in an untraditional world. And that's what the theme of this is helping each other balance traditional lives in our traditional families in an untraditional world. And that is really unpopular nowadays. It just really is. I remember telling one of my friends, and thank God she loves me no matter what, and I love her no matter what. But we have very different ideologies, and that's okay. We love each other regardless. But when I told her I was shifting, what I was focusing on in business and in my faith, and not necessarily my faith, but like how I share the kingdom of God, how I share truth, which is here in Braided. It used to be Blessings and Seasons, and then my business was Egret. But anyway, when I told her what I was doing, and I told her what the tagline was, and I said, it's going to be helping you balance tradition in an untraditional world. She was like, oh, dear me, Chrissy. She was like, nope, nope, that's not going to fly. And I was like, why not? And she was like, because who does tradition anymore? And I was like, I know plenty of women who do tradition still. It's just not the popular thing. I was like, you're not hearing about it because people aren't necessarily boasting about it. Women aren't boasting about living a traditional life or whatever that is for them. Now, traditional can be different for all of us, right? I mean, depending on your religion, depending on, even your ethnicity, where your family comes from, like tradition is different. But I want us to be able to feel confident and accepted and cherished, in that tradition. And of course, for me and what this group is mainly going to be, because I am a Christian woman from the South, my tradition, is going to be mainly what this group is about, because that's what I know. But I want y'all to know that, you're loved, you're cherished, you're prayed for. I mean, my husband he and I have already started praying over you ladies. A lot of y'all sent in some prayer requests when you came into the group, and those are being prayed over. Don't think that you just typed them, as an answer in, the entry questions, and that we went about our life. No, we wrote them down in a prayer book, and I don't. Nope, I don't have the prayer book here with me. But they were written down in a prayer book, and they are being prayed over. And even if you are in this group and you've never given me a prayer request, you guys are being prayed over daily. So anyway, so I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart and what these Tuesday tips are going to be. We're constantly told you have to niche down, you have to niche down, you have to be super specific, and I believe, that's true with a lot of businesses. I'm not like saying that that's wrong, but I'm saying for me, the most I want to niche down is that I'm faith-based. And that doesn't even mean, if somebody doesn't believe in God Jehovah, that I want nothing to do with you. No, it just means that, like, I want you guys to understand my heart, and that my faith comes with me wherever I go. It comes with me in business. It comes with me in friendships. It comes with me in family. And it only comes with me not from a judgmental place, but because that's who I am. And I have to be true to who I am, right? And where we constantly talk about that in the world, that and in the business space and in Instagram and social media space, that be yourself, be who you're meant to be, follow your truth, all those sayings. But unfortunately, I've noticed only do that if it fits into my agenda. Only do that if it fits into the world's agenda. Well, mine might not fit into certain people's agenda, but it fits into who I am as a Christ follower. So I want all of us to be confident in that. It is, even if who you are doesn't fit into somebody's agenda, if you are a Christian, it is okay to be a Christian. So anyway, so let's see. We've got some comments in here. Share some tips. So sorry, I can't see. I only see Facebook user on StreamYard, so I'm having to come on here to see. Hi, Caitlin. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. Yes, Deanna, a safe place to share traditions without conflict. Yes, absolutely. And one thing that my husband and I have really learned over the past 3 years, because we lived in Portland, and we met some friends that had different traditions, and we had different traditions than them, but we learned from each other, and we maybe we didn't end up sharing each other's traditions or values, but we learned from one another, and we still valued one another as human beings and as people. And I know for Darren and I, we remember that we're all children of God. Like he created us all, and we have to love one another. Like, it is not our place to condemn one another. It is our place to love one another. That is the greatest commandment from him is for us to love one another, and that's the bottom line. So I don't fear to express my faith. Yay, good, Deanna. Yes, I agree. When you're walking in faith, it permeates your whole life. Absolutely. Okay, awesome. Okay, I love you guys. I love y'all's comments. So anyway, so I did not mean to go on a tangent with that. I really just wanted to come on here and give y'all some tips on how to determine your laptop business. Let's see. Caitlin says, am I weird for thinking that sometimes tradition should be questioned? I think sometimes people get so caught up on how we've always done things and miss out on biblical things. Absolutely. Caitlin. I think so too. And Darren talks a lot about tradition, and he's done a show on tradition before, um and absolutely, and also I think that some traditions we've taken away from biblical values. We've taken away um from what maybe they were intended to be. And just take Christmas, for example. Now, y'all all know that I love Christmas, right? I absolutely love Christmas. But I have had to reel myself in at times because I start to get caught up in the tradition of the world with Christmas. I tend to get caught up in the Hallmark Christmas movies and the candy canes and Santa Claus and all of this stuff. And here's the thing, all of those things have a place. Well, maybe not Hallmark movies, but but candy canes and Santa Claus, even, like, they have a place in a faith-based, maybe, I don't know, I don't want to necessarily say biblical way, but like Santa Claus came from Saint Nicholas. And so, yes, Caitlin, I'll have to send you the show. And it was actually, he talked about it. It was one of our Christmas shows. And he, just even talking about the Christmas tree, how there is symbolism to these things that stem from faith-based biblical values, but as living in the world, we tend to, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily pervert that tradition, but we just tend to twist them a little bit to fit our own agendas, to fit our own passions, to fit our own likes. And hey, I've been guilty of that. So I'm not saying anything about anybody, because I've done that myself. Christmas is one of the big ones that I have to reel myself in and remember what the reason for the season is. And so, yes, I think you're absolutely right, Caitlin. And hopefully this group will serve as an outlet for Christian women, for godly women, to hold each other accountable on that, and to teach each other and to help each other, because this group is faith-based. I mean, it is a faith-based. I believe in the Bible. I believe in biblical values. I believe in Jehovah, that Jehovah is our God. I know his name. I know my God's name, and it's Jehovah. It's not just God. It's not just a random God, because when we say God can mean anything. Some people's God is money. Some people's God is TV. Some people's God is sugar, or even sex. I mean, everybody, we can all at times like stop and think, like, what God am I serving right now? And so I want this place to be a place where we can kind of, be reminded of who God Jehovah is. And you guys might have to hold my feet to the fire at times, because I'm not a perfect person. I try really hard to live a righteous and peaceful life, and I think most of you do. And so this is what this is for, you guys. Okay, again, I did not mean to go on a tangent. Hi, Stephanie. But so today, and the reason why I wanted to talk about how to determine your laptop business. So we just did the sponsored giveaway, right? And in that sponsored giveaway, there were some prizes that pertained to business owners. And so I had a couple ladies reach out to me and say, "Hey, I don't have a business right now. I don't own an online business. I've never really thought about it, but since I've been in the group, I've seen some of the lives, and it kind of sounds interesting. What tips would you have for me? What advice would you give to me?" And so, in case, and talked to them and gave them some tips and thoughts and advice. But in case there's somebody in the group who thought the same thing, but, you know, didn't think to reach out, or maybe didn't have the time to reach out, or didn't know what to say when they reached out, I thought I would do this, do this live to kind of give some tips and ways to even determine if you're meant to start an online business. And I called it "How to Determine Your Laptop Business," because that's what this is. It's laptop living. I mean, I can go to a coffee shop and work if I want. I can work at my mom's house if I want, if I need to be over there, but maybe I have a meeting, I can hop on on a Zoom or whatever real quick. And so it's the laptop life. If you go out on vacation, which I don't suggest this, but if you're on vacation and for some reason you need to pull out your laptop to work, you're able to do that. And so it's a laptop life. It's a beautiful life. I absolutely love this life, if I do say so myself. And so I definitely think it's worth looking into if it's something that you've always thought about. But I also, in this Tuesday tip about how to determine what your laptop business is, you're going to see in here, I also point you back to Jesus, because it's important for you to be following what he has for you. Don't start a business just because it's the hype right now. Don't start an online business because it's the hype right now. Maybe you're meant to start a brick and mortar. Maybe you're supposed to have a little store, a little kiosk, or a food truck or something. I feel like a lot of people, especially women, are kind of feeling the pressure, like, to have this online business. And it's a great thing. I love it. Don't get me wrong. But I also want you to make sure that this is what you're supposed to do. Maybe you're supposed to be a mom and only a mom for now. Maybe you're a housewife or a stay-at-home mom, and you're feeling like, oh, maybe I should start an online business. I'm home anyway. Maybe you should, or maybe the time is not right now. So let's dive in. Let's see. Deanna says, I need advice on what laptop I should buy. I'm clueless. Okay, Deanna, I will shoot you a message, because I have, right now I have a MacBook Air. I don't know a lot about computers either. Thank God I have a husband who's a little versed in IT. But I use it as my second computer, and I'm looking over here because it's right here to the left of me. But I started my business out on a Lenovo Yoga, I think it was called, and he purchased that for me. And I'll be honest, when I first got it, I was like, no thanks. I really wanted a MacBook Air. But I tell you what, when I finally got my MacBook Air, and here I am, when my MacBook Air goes out, when it's time to get a new one, I'm getting another Lenovo. It's honestly the best computer I've ever had. And let me kind of show y'all. I know we're getting off topic here, but you can like bend it, and I love that. So you can even use it like as a whatchamacallit, not like an iPad, like what are those called? I know there's a name for them, because you don't have to get an iPad, but it can serve as that. So anyway, so I really love that laptop. Again, I'm not a super genius when it comes to what kind of computer to get, but those are just my things. So anyway, so yes, Deanna, I'll text you. We'll get together after this. So let's see. Caitlin uses a Lenovo, and she loves it too. So yeah, I think that's a winner chicken dinner, Deanna. And actually, I will message you when my husband's home, so that way if you have any questions, I can ask him, because he's a computer nerd here. Okay, so let's dive in. So how to determine your laptop business. These are my 8 steps for you ladies on how to determine what business you should go into, and if you should go into business. So number 1, first, I want you to commit to finding out if this is what you should do. And in that commitment, that's going to come prayer. That's going to come really, if you're married, talking to your spouse about it. I mean, I really want you to commit to making sure this is the way for you to go, because it might not be meant for you. And that's okay if it's not. If you are meant to only be a stay-at-home mom right now, or even only be a housewife, there was a season where we don't have kids, but I felt that I was only supposed to be a housewife at the time. And some people thought we were crazy because we don't have kids, and they felt like the only way I should be home and not working is if we had kids. But I tell you what, that season of me not working and only focusing on being a wife really helped me to be a good wife. Like, it helped me to learn how to manage my home and not feel the stress of a job or children. And it's a time that I wouldn't take back. Sometimes I miss it. But it was so stress free, and it was an amazing opportunity for me to really just, dig my feet in the sand and be a good wife. That was first and foremost for me. And so if you're married and not working, maybe that's the role you're supposed to be in right now, and that's okay. Or maybe you are maybe it is time to start your online business or look for a work from home job. But either way, I want you to really commit to finding out what direction you're supposed to go into. So that requires prayer, and that requires, if you're married, talking to your spouse. Whether you're married or not married, that also means seeking wise counsel. Maybe it's a mentor or your mom, or somebody in your life that provides amazing wisdom and can kind of just talk to you and help you talk about the ins and outs, or even the pros and the cons of starting your own business. So commit to finding out that this is really what you're supposed to do. And so, and also, if you find that this is what you're supposed to do to build that business, I want you to commit to building a successful business. And that doesn't necessarily mean financially. That can mean even just purposely, or serving. Like, maybe you need to really learn how to serve other people in a different capacity, or maybe it's just learning how to put yourself out there. Whatever the case is, being successful doesn't necessarily always mean financially. So commit to being successful. Commit to dedicating it to the Lord. And allow Him to define what success is for that business. Two, I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to make a list of 10 skills that you have. And these can be skills from small skills to big skills. Maybe, maybe you're great at, drawing or painting, or talking to people. Maybe you have great customer service skills. Maybe in all of your jobs, one of the things your bosses have always complimented you on is your customer service. Or maybe you know a lot about health and nutrition. Just write down these skills. Maybe how to do calligraphy writing. That's pretty cool. I've always wanted to learn how to do that. Maybe you know how to sew. Maybe you're like Deb, who was one of our sponsors in the giveaway, and she knows how to make the cutest t-shirts ever. And I really need to have my water bottle here. She's made me two of the cutest water bottles ever. The first one I broke, and she was so gracious to get me another one for my birthday. But that first one was honestly my favorite water bottle ever. And I really love the second one too. But she's so gifted and creative. And so that's one of her skills, is she's creative. She knows how to do this. Like, you guys don't want a t-shirt that I'm going to make. No, it's not going to be cute. I've tried to make a tie-dye one, and it went straight in the trash. So not everybody is gifted and skilled in the ways that you are. So write down those skills. And then the next thing I want you to do is make another list, and you're going to write down 10 ways that you can be of service to somebody. And try to put those skills out of the way. I want this to be separate. Of course, don't make it separate, but I don't want you to think that when you write this list down that it has to pertain to to your first list. But write down 10 ways that you can serve somebody right now where you are. So is it being a listening ear? Is it sharing tips with somebody? Just what are 10 ways that you can serve somebody? Is it taking somebody lunch? Whatever it is, just 10 ways that you can serve somebody. Number 4, this is going to be a separate list, and you can list out one thing or several things. It's totally up to you, but I want you to really think about a big experience or transformation that you have gone through in your life and that you could possibly share with other people and help them. So for me, I actually started out, before I even started virtual assisting, I started coaching women who had gone through pregnancy loss. And that was a huge experience that I had gone through. And it was a transformation for me as well. And so that was something that, honestly, I would say that has always been the core of me being online. Whether it was coaching or even virtual assisting, I mean, that opened the door to virtual assisting, to be quite honest. And so you never know what your experiences or your transformation can do for your own life or for other people's lives. So write down those big experiences, that transformation that you've had in your life that you could possibly share with other people. Number 5, what are some things that you are most passionate about? So it's going to be another list. What are the things that you talk about naturally, the things that light you up? What are those things? So make a list of those things, and it can be one thing or it can be several things. It's totally up to you. Just make that list. And number 6, now that you have these lists, I think that was what, 4 or 5 lists? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4 lists. So now you have 4 lists. So now you're going to go through those lists and you're going to circle the things that you just absolutely love. From all of them, just circle them. And then next, you're going to look at those 5 things, and then you're going to really pray about those. Oh, hold on. Where did I get to 5 things? Okay. So out of all the things that you circle, sorry, I'm skipping a part here. And this is all still in number 6. It all goes together. But after you circle all the things that you love, and you guys, some of y'all might need to probably go back through and, re-listen to this and maybe pause it as you're doing it, because I'm just kind of going through. I'm not actually going to stop and give y'all time to do it, because a lot of people don't have time to listen through as we stop and pause. So anyway, you get what I'm saying. So once you circle all the things you love, then you're going to pick out the 5 top things that you really think that you could do something with. So if it's, you really love to talk about health and nutrition, that's obviously something that you could do something with that, right? If you love to talk to people about business, that's something you could do something with. And let's see, Gianna said, right now I'm serving and am committed. My Lord tells me what to share when I pray for guidance. Amen. Amen. I love that, Gianna. So when you find those top 5 things that you love the most, now you're going to really start to pray about those things. You're not going to make a decision right now. You're not going to, when you're done with the list, go off and now start a business. No, what you're going to do is you're going to submit those 5 things to the Lord. And you're going to start praying about it. You're going to start talking to your spouse if you're married about it. You're going to start, and I'll tell you what, ladies, if your spouse is not for you starting a business right now, heed to that. He is the head of you. He's the head of your home, and you have to just trust his judgment. Now, hear me out. I know a lot of times, because I've been put in this situation, or I don't want to say season. I've been in this season where Darren was, and we've talked about this on an actual radio and TV show. So I'm not like spilling any of his secrets or talking bad about him or anything like that. I would never, ever do that to my husband. But since we've talked about it, I feel confident in sharing this with you guys. And I know he wouldn't mind. But we were in a season where Darren was really questioning his faith. We had gone through a lot of different stuff, pregnancy, lost one of them. Just there was a lot of things going on in his mind and in his spirit. And he was questioning his faith. Like he never thought God didn't exist. But he did question, is God real? Is he alive still right now? That was his biggest question. Like he believed in the Bible. He believed that God did some amazing miracles back in the day, but he wasn't quite convinced that God was real in the here and now. And during that time, it was tough for me because I knew that as a godly wife, I had to submit to my husband. And I made the decision to submit to him no matter what, because he was my husband. And I prayed for him. I didn't nag him. I prayed and prayed and prayed for him. And I prayed for God to send him a mentor that would help him to realize that God was alive in the here and now. Sorry, I'm going to cry, you guys. I prayed and prayed for a mentor, and God was so gracious to send this amazing man named Vincent into my husband's life. And I truly believe that God listens to our prayers. Obviously, I believe that. But I do believe he wants us to also remain obedient to him. So allowing my husband to be the head of me, I wasn't necessarily being obedient to Darren. It honestly had nothing to do with Darren, because as a wife who was still walking with the Lord, if I'm honest, I was quite perturbed with him. I'm like, how can he even believe this? What is he thinking? Why is he in such limbo? But I had to submit that to the Lord. I had to submit it all to the Lord and trust him that he was going to find a way to bring Darren back. And my job was to be obedient to God. And in that obedience was to be obedient to my husband and to allow him to still be the head of me. And so I say all that to say is I understand. I get it. I've been there. I know sometimes it's hard to be obedient and submissive to our husbands, but that's what we're supposed to do, ladies. And so in that, I'm also going to tell you to trust God, to always pray, to always allow God in those tough spots, especially as a wife, especially if you're having some turmoil, in your marriage, or there's some misunderstanding with, if you are a business owner already and maybe your husband doesn't get it, just to don't nag, but to just submit it to the Lord and to be obedient to God first and foremost. And so I didn't mean to go out on a tangent with all of that, but make sure that you're talking to your spouses about it, that you're getting his blessing, that you are being obedient to the plan laid out by you and your husband, because you guys may have this life plan, figured out or whatever. And just include your husband, let him in, is what I'm trying to say, is let him in to your business. I know too many women that aren't letting their spouses into their husbands into their business, and they're almost like on an island all by themselves. But let him in, even if he doesn't listen to you, even if he doesn't want to know about it. Continue to let him in, continue to share the wins with him, continue to share the losses with him, continue to let him in, even if he pushes the thought of your business away. Maybe he's been like, look, do what you want, start your own business, but I don't want to hear about it. I don't care, because I don't think it's going to work out. That happens too. And that's okay. That's okay. Let him think that, but continue to share your business with him, whether he likes it or not. And I say that because there will come a point where you're going to want them to be included in it, especially if you become successful. You're going to need them to be a part of it. You're going to need them to know what was going on. And especially if something in the legal realm does happen. I don't mean to scare anybody talking about legalities, but when you own an online business, just because it's online on your laptop in the privacy of your own home, there's still legalities. There's still certain things you need to follow. There's still certain guidelines and rules and laws that you need to follow. You still need to pay taxes. And so if something were to happen, down the road where maybe there was some kind of trip up legally, I mean, it doesn't always mean it's your fault. It doesn't always mean that you did something bad. I mean, I've had friends go through legal issues that it was literally nothing they did. But it happens. It's a business. And so you want to make sure that you don't ever surprise your husband one day and then he's like, wait, I didn't know you were doing that. I mean, maybe you share something and he actually has some insight to it, or he can help you, or he knows somebody who could help you with your copyright or whatever it is. So include your husbands in it. Again, I didn't mean to go on a tangent on that. But that was a part of number 6, is when you get those 5 things, submit them to the Lord, talk to your spouse about it, get wise counsel from a friend who's got some wisdom, just a mentor, somebody that can help you sort some of this out in your mind. So spend some time diving into the word and seeking him. Also, make sure whatever it is, whatever kind of business it is that you're thinking about starting, that it does align with your Christian values and your biblical values. You want to make sure, most importantly, that it aligns. And that's another reason why you should come to your husband, because he is, whether he likes it or not, he is your covering. And so you want to make sure that you're going to your husband about it and at least sharing what's going on. That way, if he has some insights, that's his opportunity to share it with you. That's his opportunity to cover you and tell you, I don't think that's a good idea, or, well, if you do that, maybe this. Like, you want to just offer that opportunity. And so, once you've done that, this is an opportunity for you to start researching and looking into that. So you have your top 5 things. You're going to pray and submit about it. You're going to pray and submit it to the Lord and start talking to your spouse and wise counsel about it. And then once you figure out, yes, this is what I need to do, this is what I'm going to do, then you start researching, you start looking up people that are in that same area as you, and you start figuring out, how can I fill the gap with these 5 things? How can I fill the gap? What could I possibly do that's going to fill the gap in that industry? And then you're going to keep praying about this. You're going to keep allowing God to guide you and ask him to reveal the next steps to you, and take it one day at a time, take it one step at a time, and know that God is there. God's guiding you. You've already invited him into it. And so he is going to be guiding you. I mean, the steps of a good man are already determined. And so he already knows if this is where he's directed you. He already knows. He already has the plan laid out for you. All you have to do is be obedient. And that is the beautiful thing about God, is he's already got our steps ordered. He's already laid out the plan for us. He's already got things picked out for you. All we have to do is to be obedient to him. And he is going to guide us step by step, day by day. So number 7, that's a long number 6, you guys. Let's see if anybody... Oh, thank you, Melody. Okay, I just want to make sure that my audio is still working, because sometimes this mic goes out. Okay, so that was a long number 6, you guys. But the bottom line to that is to pray about the 5 things, submit it to God, and talk to people about it, and then dive in. If the answer is yes, dive in. Okay, 7, commit to learning all that you can about building a business. So in number 6, when you're trying to figure out what business do I want to do in those 5 things, you're learning all you can about the niche. You're learning all about those 5 things. And then you're going to determine what it is. And so once you figure that out, the number 7 thing that you do is you commit to learning all that you can about building a business. and there's so many ways you can do it. I know when I first started, I was glued to YouTube. YouTube and podcasts taught me everything I needed to know about business. And then when I was ready to dive in a little bit more, and I started my business, I didn't wait until I knew everything there was to know. My nose is runny. Probably because I was getting a little emotional here. But you don't have to start. Don't wait to start your business until you know the ins and outs about business. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as you start, as you begin to take those steps, that you commit to learning all that you can about business. Because when you start an online business, it's not all about what the business is about. It's not all about business coaching. It's not all about pregnancy loss. It's not all about, Caitlin is watching. She's a writing coach and she can tell you this herself. It's not all about writing. Her passion is writing. But when she decided to start a business around her love for writing, she had to learn the ins and outs of business. She's still learning. But, and as she continues to learn, then it evolves. Her business has evolved. Even from since I've known her, it's evolved. And it's been what, 3 years, I think, Caitlin? So even in 3 years that I've known her, her business has evolved since the first day that I met her. It's evolved. It's grown because she's learned more. She's committed herself to learning about building a business. And so that's going to be the number 7 thing that I ask you to do, is to just commit yourself. Join an online, Deanna, I met Deanna through a business academy. She is committed to learning how to build her business. She found an amazing coach who is one of my clients, and she has committed to learning how to build her business. And then number 8, connect with other entrepreneurs. This is so important, you guys. When I first started, I was on an island all by myself, except for my husband, and he was so supportive of what I was doing. However, he didn't know really anything about the online business. And so I had to go and learn. And I was learning and it was great, but I ended up joining a membership that she taught business. I'm actually still in the membership because she's amazing. But the first time that I finally felt like I wasn't all alone on an island was whenever in that membership, every month she assigns accountability partners. And so the first time I said, I want an accountability partner, she assigned me to accountability partner, which her and I are still really good friends to this day. And that was like 4 years ago. But when I got on the phone or on a Zoom with her and we started talking about our business, I suddenly felt like I can do this. I've got accountability. I've got somebody who understands like what I'm going through, who understands all of it. She understands the frustrations, but she also understands the wins. She understands what it's like to work at a coffee shop. Like she understands these things. And I finally felt complete. When it came to my business realm, like I had God's approval, I had my husband's approval, I was figuring it out, I was diving into YouTube, I was doing everything that I could, but there was still something missing. And it was community, it was connecting with other entrepreneurs who knew exactly what I was going through. And so that's going to be the number 8 thing that I ask you to do, is to connect with other entrepreneurs. And even in doing that, maybe you connect with them and you're still kind of like, I don't really know how I want to start a business or what business I want to start. As you start connecting with other entrepreneurs, they can give you ideas, or they can say, ooh, you know what? I know somebody that can help you with that. So they can start connecting you with other people. It's such an amazing way of just learning a little bit more about your own business, learning a little bit more about other people's business and cheering them on. It brings accountability. It brings knowledge. You can teach each other. We haven't started yet, but I am with a group of friends and we're starting a clubhouse. We were supposed to start this week, but we decided to change it to next week. But even just in the little bit of time that we have really started to plan this out. We're all in different businesses, but I have learned so much from these girls, because they're in different businesses and because they have a different perspective on this online space than what I do. And we've taught each other. We've really started to help each other, and it's amazing. And so that's what connecting with other entrepreneurs can do. Is it just helps you to not feel so alone in this online space, and it brings accountability and it brings other knowledge, and you bring other people's expertise and wisdom into your life and into your own business. So I have a hair. Don't you hate when that happens? Okay. So those are my 8 things, you guys. I know I was a little long-winded, but thanks for sticking with me. And I'm going to go through them real quick, just real quick, and then I will also write out a list. How about I do like a little flyer or whatever, so that way, if you want, you can print it out and it's there for you. But first, you're going to commit to building. You're going to commit to submitting to God and asking him, what would you have of me? What should I be doing? Should I be doing this? You're going to commit to finding out if this is even a road you should start going down. And so you're going to commit to that. You're going to pray about it. You're going to talk to your spouse about it. And then if you get the yay, then you're going to make a list of 10 skills that you have, and it can be small skills to big skills. Number 3, you're going to write a list of 10 ways that you can be of service to somebody. And number 4, you're going to write down what is a big experience or transformation that I've had in my life that I could share with other people. Number 5, you're going to make a list of some of the things that you're passionate about a list of things that you naturally talk about that just light you up. Number 6, you're going to take a look at all of those lists. You're going to circle all of the things that you love. And then you're going to look at that list of circles and you're going to pick the top 5. And then you're going to submit those 5 things to the Lord. You're going to pray about them. You're going to meditate. You're going to talk to your spouse about them. You're going to talk to wise counsel about them. You're just going to take some time. Sorry, guys. My nose is still runny now. You're going to take some time to really seek the Lord in that. And you just take your time. It doesn't have to be something you complete in a week. I mean, some people, it takes them a year to figure it out, and that's okay. But just make sure that you're seeking God with those 5 topics. And then once you figure out, okay, this is something I want to do, then you're going to start looking up that topic. You're going to start learning all you can about the topics. And, by this time, especially if you're, okay, I'm sorry, guys. I've got snot everywhere and hair in my face. So as you're praying about this, I know I haven't said much about, so when do we go down to one topic? Here's the thing. As you're praying about the 5 topics, you're going to naturally, probably more than likely, I know this has happened to me and some of my friends, is you're going to naturally just know. God's going to just naturally tell you, you know what, this is the one topic. And so that's why I'm not saying much about the 5 topics, because I want this to be organic for you. I want it to be natural. But once you've taken the time to pray about it, and you figure out, yes, these are the topics I want to do, or maybe God's already pulled you into one topic, then you're going to start looking up those topics. You're going to start looking to see what's going on in business based on these topics. How can I feel? And then after that, number 7, you're going to commit to learning all you can about building a business. And then number 8, you're going to commit to connecting with other entrepreneurs. So those are your 8 steps. I hope that blesses you. I hope that helps somebody on your journey to figuring out, what do I do for my laptop business? Because it's an amazing thing to be doing. But not all things are for us. And so I want you first and foremost. I think that's about it. Let me see what comments we have. Melody says, I pray God uses your words to encourage those. Thank you, Melody. You guys, Melody is one of my oldest and dearest friends. I mean, we've been friends for, let's see, I'm trying to think of how long I've been married. So we've been friends about 6 years, I guess. I think, yeah, we became friends right after Darren and I got married. So 6 years. She is just, she's one of my wise counsels. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman of God. I would consider her one of my mentors. I just love Melody. She's so full of wisdom. Deanna says, thank you. You're so welcome. Melody says, love you. Thank you. I love you too, Melody. Okay, ladies. So y'all have a wonderful afternoon. If anybody has questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here to help as best as I can. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.